do. I mean, Sam, I don't think there's any other appropriate way to start the show. We got to give credit where credit is due, no?
Absolutely. I love.
What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, week 15 here on Big Blue Avenue. I'm Tom Stellato, joined alongside Sam Cardona. Appreciate you all joining our show. Quick reminder, if you're new, check us out on all of our social media on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue, or here on Facebook Live if you're catching us. How are you feeling, Sam? You just recorded with Jordan for your other show, Unsolicited. You talked about Tommy DeVito. We're here now on Big Blue Avenue. Zero transition for you. How's it going, and how are you feeling?
I mean, I have not felt this good all season, really. Like, even after that Cardinals win, and even after these few wins we've had with Tommy DeVito, this was like such a pivotal game for us and for like the entire NFC. Like, we are literally single-handedly shaping the NFC playoff picture. And Tommy DeVito is just having fun while he's doing it. I'm just so in awe with the way he was able to have a game-winning drive, use Wan'Dale Robinson, use Saquon Barkley, use all these guys. There was so much happening, and we were texting through this game, and I was literally like, we were both saying like, what universe are we living in right now? Like, what is happening? I got my Soprano shirt on today. I always wear this, but I got my Italian horn on today. Like, we're really leaning into this, and I'm just living in this moment right now. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. We're on a win streak, and we're one game out of the playoffs.
It's incredible. Incredible the way things have panned out, Sam. I'm happy you're loving it because I'm loving it too. Monday night, I slept maybe 2 to 3 hours. Caught up last night, thankfully, but Monday night was brutal. After that game, it's like, how do you fall asleep after a game like that? I personally couldn't.
No, I was like wound up.
Yeah.
Like, I had to take a melatonin to fall asleep because I was like so amped.
Yes. Melatonin is the key to any Giants victory if you're wound up. Might be good for a loss too, to just forget about it. But Cozzo here. Let me start off by saying that the Giants can get into a playoff spot this week if 5 things happen. If the Giants beat the Saints, if the Bucks beat the Packers, if the Vikings lose to the Bengals, if the Rams lose, and then there's one other team that has to lose. I think Atlanta has to lose to Carolina, so that won't happen. But just saying, it's not far-fetched. And improving to 5-8, now on a 3-game winning streak, folks. Big Blue has won their first Monday Night Football game since 2018. They had an 8-game losing streak on Monday Night Football, and Sam, I hate to say it, Tommy DeVito is starting to do things that Daniel Jones has not done in 5 years.
Yep.
DeVito handed Matt LaFleur his first loss as a head coach in December. He completed 81% of his passes for a touchdown, 113.9 passer rating, and he was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Taking the storylines aside for just a moment, I know it's exciting to talk about. Let's talk about Tommy DeVito, the player, and what he was able to do out there, especially late in the game. I feel like once the Giants got the ball back on that last drive, I had a feeling they were going to score, and they did.
Yeah, it was. I honestly, after that crazy Green Bay touchdown happened, like, for a hot second, I thought maybe he wasn't in, but as the replays happened, like, it was very obvious that he had scored a touchdown, and I was like pretty pissed off about it. But I was like, okay, there was about a minute and a half left on the clock, and I was like, why do I have all this faith in Tommy DeVito right now to get down the field, at least into field goal position and kick a field goal? And Randy Bullock, I didn't have as much faith in. I'm not going to lie to you. I was feeling a little nervous about the kick. But no, like, he stepped on the field, and I think it's this energy, like, not only his talents, because his numbers were not astronomically great. They were not like these phenomenal numbers, but I think even Troy Aikman said it. He was like, he's just doing his job. Like, he's doing what he needs to do to win this game. And like, he was getting the ball into Saquon's hands. He was getting the ball into Wandale's hands. He was getting the ball into Isaiah Hodgins' hands. Like, it was just working. And the energy, I think, is not only the fans, but the players are feeling it, because not only did Tommy DeVito not take any sacks, which means that our offensive line improved, the defense looked incredible. Like, I was like, where did this come from? So I think that this confidence in our quarterback, which is not to say Daniel Jones didn't have confidence, but there's a different type of swagger about Tommy DeVito that's just like really rippling. And like I said, his talent is there and he's doing what he needs to do, but he's not like monumental talent. He's just utilizing his team to their greatest strengths, which is what we've been trying to do for years. And it's really comforting to see somebody actually being able to do it, as opposed to the struggles that we've been seeing these past few years.
I'm with you. And quick shout out to Steven tuning in from Virginia Beach tonight. Thank you very much, Steven. Appreciate you. Yeah, you know, the player, he brings in a type of excitement, a lot of energy. This is the best rookie quarterback play we've seen since Phil Simms, to be honest with you. Not to compare him to Phil Simms, but I mean, you got the dad and the agent kissing each other in the stands. By the way, I want to say this right now. Sean Stellato, that was an act. I immediately looked up pictures of him. He's never wearing a fedora. He doesn't do that stuff on the regular. DeVito, his family, his agent, all of them are playing into this storyline a little bit and fabricating it. They're exaggerating it more than we would like, regardless. I don't care. It's awesome. I watched the DeVito presser today. Reporters are still asking him about being Italian and from New Jersey. I think he's starting to get tired of it just a little bit because they want to focus on DeVito winning. I want to focus on DeVito winning at this point. That's just a plus to DeVito, the person, because he can relate to the area, right? A lot of fans here, you know, have similar background to Tommy DeVito in that specific area of North Jersey. And, you know, a lot of people like him for it. If DeVito was doing this in, let's say, Washington or Atlanta, this won't be as big of a story for sure. And to your point on the defense, Sam, I mean, Bobby Okereke, Deonte Banks, Jason Pinnock, the three of them have been incredible all season long. The defense now has 12 created turnovers over the last 3 games. That's the most in the NFL over the last month. That includes the Giants having a bye week. So 1 week. They're on that 4-week stretch, and we've still created the most turnovers in the National Football League over 4 weeks. Deonte Banks held Jaden Reed to 8 catches. 8 catches, a lot of catches, but just for 27 yards. I mean, he's a stud. He really is a stud, and I'm excited for him and his future.
Yeah. No, I again, I don't know if it's the Tommy DeVito effect or the confidence or whatever, but this defense looked outstanding, like I said before. And maybe, you know, there was this turn of events, but I'd like to think that Wink Martindale is just starting to shift. He's just starting to teach these guys and coach these guys the correct way and to utilize them correctly against certain offenses, because obviously the Packers looked bad. Like, the Packers looked atrocious, and it was like jumping on that vulnerability that it's like, they're playing bad, let's make them play even worse for our benefit. And it worked. And like the turnovers rate, even I'll throw Kayvon in there too. You know, he was doing an incredible job as well. I'm very impressed. And we would not have been able to win that game if it were not for the defense. The defense played if not 50-50, if not 70-30 part of that game, because it was a huge deal. Stopping them on that second, the 2-point conversion, huge, changed the game. So I huge shout out. I know we're talking so much about Tommy, but huge shout out to the defense.
The defense deserves a lot of props, folks. Ashawn Robinson has filled in beautifully for Leonard Williams since being traded. Kayvon Thibodeau had half a sack. Now is 11.5 sacks on the season. Pinnock had the pick, his second of the year. Azeez Ojulari got his first sack of the season. And not just that, he played well in run defense. He looked really good. He had 3 QB hits. He had the second highest PFF grade among any defender on the Giants this week. Dexter Lawrence. So, I mean, that goes to show you a lot. Like, Aziz, when healthy, is really good. I had a coworker telling me, you need to draft somebody good opposite of Kayvon Thibodeau. And I'm like, we have somebody good. He's just never on the field.
Yeah.
He's never on the field.
It's a big deal. Like, staying healthy is one of the biggest parts of the game. Like, if you're not there, you can't play, no matter how you play. So health is important.
What's up, goofballs? Appreciate you. Says Aziz can be a good player, will be a good player if he can stay healthy. Keep in mind he dropped for a reason, though. Yeah, injuries back, I think, late in high school that he had, goofballs. Yeah, so it's just one of those scenarios where if he can stay on the field, if he switched the way he trained this past offseason. He's been training a lot differently. Unfortunately, he still had a brief stint on the IR, and he's had trouble getting back into this defense. I'm going to point out that, Sam, we have not mentioned his name yet on the show this season. Benton Whitley, who recovered that fumble on special teams, has displaced Boogie Basham. Boogie Basham was a healthy scratch on Monday Night Football, on top of Paris Campbell, by the way. But for Benton Whitley's purpose, he's played so well since coming in. His number was called upon, and he's done really, really good stuff, and I'm proud of him. So, yeah, Aziz needs to step up. Other guys are stepping up. Dexter Lawrence had 4 pressures on 20 pass rushing snaps, and I think part of the reason why we're just one game out of a playoff spot, the defense was never going to be bad throughout the whole season. I'll argue they were average to above average most of the season. Now they're really good. And Sam, it kind of emphasizes the point that Wink Martindale must return in 2024.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Like I said before, he's working on this defense, and it's very obvious that he's doing what he needs to do. And this defense is looking the best it has all season. So whatever, even if there was any sort of tiff between him and Dable, it's very obvious that they have either put it aside, figured it out, or just been like, this is a professional environment. Let's be professional. And they're handling it well. And again, whether or not it happened, we really don't know what's going on with that situation, but I would love to see Wink back, and I would greet him with open arms.
And finally, back to the offense, since we pretty much spent it all on DeVito. Barkley was good outside of that fumble. Giants had 209 total rushing yards. Wan'Dale, 115 total yards. Wan'Dale's turning into that gadget player, Sam. We want him to. He's being everything that Kadarius Toney was supposed to be. And I love it. I love it.
I just have to say, not to veer off topic, but just the fact that Kadarius Toney was the reason why the Chiefs lost that game on Sunday just made me laugh. Like, come on, dude. Line up the way you're supposed to. If you're offsides or not. Like, let's not be too hasty here.
And the play of the game for me on Monday night, Sam, the Isaiah Hodgins catch, corner of the end zone. That catch had an 18% catch probability rate, according to Next Gen. So, incredible work by Isaiah.
Yeah, I know. And when I had to step away at that point in time in the game, and I had texted you like, "Oh my God, there's points on the board. Like, who scored?" And you said Isaiah Hodgins, and I was like, "Isaiah Hodgins." I didn't even know he was still around. Like, we haven't seen him all year. So that was just great that DeVito's passing the ball around. We're seeing Wan'Dale a lot more. We're seeing Hodgins a lot more. I wish we saw a little bit more Hyatt in the mix in this past game, but whatever works.
I think part of it, too, is Hyatt was kind of taking Hodgins snaps away, and now Hodgins is getting sprinkled more back in. That Hyatt's sort of taking a back seat. In reality, I think it should be Darius Slayton that is taking a back seat a little bit. And I know other content creators have a different opinion on that, and that's totally okay. Slayton's on a 2-year deal. He won't be here past next season at most, in my personal opinion, especially if they move on from Daniel Jones, because that's Jones's boy. Right. Hodgins, Wan'Dale, and Hyatt, those are the future 3 for me. If you want to draft somebody and get a bona fide number 1, or try to develop Hyatt into a bona fide number 1, great. No problem with that. But right now, those need to be the three that are on the field the most. Those are the three we want to learn about the most, similar to how they're doing this with Tommy DeVito, with Daniel Bellinger. Bellinger has, benefited with Waller being out, getting
Right.
more reps, but I agree. Is that a Bills banner? I notice it's wide right. Oh my God. I never
Clever.
noticed that. Like I've always seen the banner, Sam, but I've always seen it. You've mentioned it multiple times, but it being wide right never crossed my mind.
Maybe I did that on purpose. I didn't do that on purpose, but that's a very funny joke. But yes, my Bills banner. It's just my AFC team, my other red, white, and blue New York team that I like to support.
Folks, just to clarify, technically, from Sam's perspective, it's to her left. On the camera, it's to the right.
It is. This is my left. So.
But yeah, Sam, let's get into our Giants player of the week. We've talked about a lot of players, but ultimately we had to come to consensus with one, and it is none other than the stallion himself, Tommy DeVito. Tommy Cutlets.
I made this a little extra spicy for us today, this graphic. But obviously, as Tom mentioned earlier, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. And we were mentioning his numbers earlier, nothing crazy, but 17 for 21 for 158 passing yards and a touchdown, 71 rushing yards, which we love to see, and 113.9 passer rating. This is his first career game-winning drive, which led to the obvious game-winning field goal by Randy Bullock. That 37-yard field goal, dead center, loved it. The first New York Giants rookie quarterback to win 3 consecutive games as a starter since Phil Simms, as Tom mentioned earlier, in 1979. 100-plus passer ratings over the last 3 weeks. He's the only quarterback to do that this year. And as an NFL starting quarterback, he is 3-1. And obviously the photos of Dad and Sean Stellato kissing each other on the cheek after the touchdown to Hodgins, just picturesque kind of moment. So obviously our player of the week this week.
That is Tommy DeVito. I can't escape the DeVito jokes. Coworker of mine who played football against DeVito in high school is now just like saying Tommy all the time. And I can't escape that because me and DeVito have the same name, except I don't go by his nickname, as you can see on the screen, but
yes.
We do have the same name. So we definitely.
I don't think you're a Tommy, Tom. I think you're a Tom.
Absolutely. I do want to get to a comment. Stephen, apologies for not getting to this earlier. Jesse Armstead's role, I believe he's a defensive assistant or quality control. I forget the exact title, but when Brett Bielema left in 2020 for Illinois, shout out Andy Hopper from the Brute Party, if you're watching, he took over as head coach for them. Armstead took over as the outside linebackers coach for us. As far as what he does now, I think he's just a regular defensive assistant. I'm not so sure. I do feel bad for Shep, but the on the wall, and I hate to say it, someone called the Bravo Network. I would like to learn a little more about his family. Hello from Florida. Steven Tuttle says, let's go Giants. What's up, Steven? A couple Stevens in the comments section tonight.
Hello to all Stevens.
Only bad. Daniel Jones is not a bad NFL quarterback. But there comes a point, Sam, I think, where we both admit this. If the Giants look really good at the end of the season and come close to winning out, let's say they win 3 out of their last 4 or win out, which is, again, virtually impossible, folks. That's not what we're saying, but we're just saying if that is to be, which we don't think it will, you have to have a conversation next year. And Gary Myers on social media said something very interesting, and I agree with him. DeVito has not only saved himself a job for next season and beyond, he has potentially also saved Daniel Jones's job as well on the Giants. And that might not be a popular opinion, but here's why. They continue to win games with DeVito, get in the playoff hunt. the Giants won't be drafting a quarterback in the first round, possibly in the second or third round as well. They may draft a guy day 3 to compete with DeVito as the backup. And next year it'll be DeVito against DJ. That'll be the talk. It'll no longer be a rookie. So if DeVito continues to play like this, he's saving Daniel Jones' job. Because if the Giants draft, I don't know, May, Daniels, God forbid it's Caleb, I don't think it will be. It's over. It's over for DJ if one of those 3 gets drafted. But if it's a day 3 guy like Sam Hartman or whoever,
I would love that.
A big Sam Hartman fan.
I love Sam Hartman.
Not happening. As far as Daniel Jones losing his job.